Hello, it's Jennifer Adkins, presenting my EDL 854 case study. A summary of the events. To tell you a little bit about Briardale Elementary, it has a population of 600. It does receive funds from the district for educational instructional objectives and their curriculum programs. How they receive funds from the district is a bit ambiguous. So to help cover supplementary activities, they receive money from the foundation, which is a parent group, and they help raise money to cover the supplementary programs. This year, Mr. Barley had been chosen as the new president of the foundation. Mr. Barley was eager to raise money for the school. He wants to raise more money than a local neighboring elementary whose foundation is run by a former fraternity brother. Mr. Barley created a raffle for fundraising that was very successful. On the night of the raffle, the sheriff had been informed of the cash raffle event. The sheriff took Mr. Barley to the station and charged him with a misdemeanor, and Mr. Barley was convicted and received probation. Legal and ethical issues. From the state of Kansas, there was no legal or ethical issues that were actually broken. The state of Kansas, and I cited their website down below, states that a raffle is a game where each participant buys a ticket from a nonprofit group and is given the equal opportunity to win the prize. Schools are allowed to conduct raffles in Kansas City, and if the profit is going to be greater than $25,000, they are required to purchase a license. At this point in time, we do not actually know the location of Briardale. So in their state, I am guessing that they didn't obtain a license, which is how he was charged with a misdemeanor. To synthesize, Mr. Briardale held a raffle to raise money for supplemental activities. Mr. Barley, the foundation president, created the raffle. The raffle was successful, and on the night of the raffle, the raffle was to take place, Mr. Barley was arrested and charged with the misdemeanor and later convicted. The people involved are Mr. Santos, the foundation president, Mr. Barley, the teachers, the parents, the students, and the community, which make up all the community. The place, Briardale, the community, which has 6 elementaries, 2 middle schools, 1 high school. Programs that this affects, their curriculum and their supplemental programs. To review, the school and the foundation was embarrassed by the raffle because the raffle laws were not followed. The school, the staff, and the students are affected by this raffle. The loss of funds will result in programs not being funded. I would like to know who tipped off the sheriff. I think that kind of plays a key part in this. Also, we have a question about which laws were broken since, as stated before, there were no laws actually broken in Kansas. Options and evaluations. Option 1 was to do nothing, wait and see what happens. Option 2, apologize to the community and be transparent with the facts of what happened. As the principal, I need to take ownership of what happened, and I need to implement some changes in the fundraising process. Third option would be to remove Mr. Barley as the president of the foundation. So when we look to evaluate those options, the first one, do nothing, it does nothing to help rectify the situation, and that is not our best option. The second one, if being the principal, if I was transparent with the community, if I took ownership of it, that would be my first step in gaining the community's trust again. And I would also be explaining changes that would occur to make sure that this didn't happen again. It would also help alleviate some of the embarrassment that Mr. Barley occurred, which, as a community member and a parent within our community, we want to make sure that, he does not continue to have the embarrassment that he incurred. And then number 3, removing Mr. Barley as the president of the foundation. Again, that would not solve the problem. Mr. Barley was not aware of the laws. So the best choice for this would be option 2. As the principal, you are responsible for all the fundraising that occurs at your building. It falls upon you to make sure that your staff is aware if a fundraiser is occurring, that they are aware of all of the laws. As a parent group, again, you are responsible for making sure that they are trained and they know all the laws. When they came to you and said, we're going to try this raffle event, it was on you to make sure that all the laws were followed, all the proper procedures were followed, and that fell back on you to make sure that you had clearly communicated with Mr. Barley to make sure that that everything was being done properly. As the principal, I need to apologize to the community and to Mr. Barley for any embarrassment that this may have caused. Moving forward, I need to make sure that trainings are implemented and written guidelines for fundraisers are put into the foundation book. Implementation of this, I would start by holding a meeting with the community with a clear explanation of what happened, apology, and then the next steps that would happen. I would explain that yearly trainings will occur at the beginning of each school year to go over fundraising guidelines, and also to kind of set up what fundraisings are planning on doing, and then making sure that everybody is aware of the law. Before fundraisers are okayed, we'll check with the district lawyer to make sure that all laws are being obeyed. And so we do not run into this issue again. Also, we'll be working with the foundation and the community to build a new fundraiser to help replace the funds that were lost during this fundraiser. So, thank you. I enjoyed this class.